Hey guys, it's Catherine. This is Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. I'm on super early today. Frequently life, I make all sorts of plans and life laughs at my plans. And this is one of those occasions. So, and I'm not necessarily laughing at this situation in particular. So we've had lots of baby goats born this week. And today I am a goat mama. So we had one of our does die unexpectedly yesterday. She either prolapsed or bloated, and these three little guys are now orphans. So I am taking over as their surrogate mom. And I thought I would share with you guys the process of bottle feeding. So I have had bottle babies in the past, and I had a hard time getting mine on the bottle because they were a little older and came from an established herd where they were on mom. And so these guys, I'm not even sure that they got any milk from their mom. It's very possible she wasn't producing from the get-go. Hold on, babies. So this is now my life for the next several weeks at the very least, is 4-time-a-day feedings. And these guys are doing fabulous at this point. So as of yesterday, we had one baby down, and I thought he wasn't going to make it. My husband called me yesterday while I was out at work and said, got bad news, found Daisy dead in the pen. Hi. You're next, yes. So we processed her. We went ahead and butchered her because we figured out that it wasn't any sort of illness or infection that took her out. And we felt like it would be prudent to harvest her meat because we are homesteaders. We are raising them for both milk and meat. And so rather than waste it, we figured that we would go ahead and put her in our freezer. And so I'm sure that that bothers some people, and I'm okay with that because the act of harvesting meat isn't always pleasant. So, but looking for the goodness in things, it's this little guy right here. He's our little runt, and when my husband found him, he was outside the pen, cold, shivering, not moving, head down, wouldn't open his eyes. When I got home, he was still in that state. And we got him in front of a heater, put him in warm towels, got him all warmed up, and I started bottle feeding him, and much to my surprise, he ended up taking a bottle and is now, hold on, you guys are impatient. So now very active and alive, and I am grateful for that. So they are healthy, they are happy, they are vigorous. So these are 3-day-old kids right here. You want some too? Yeah. So I'm thankful that I had, and I wanted to pass on some words of wisdom to you guys here. So for whatever it's worth, if you have a goat and milk, I would highly suggest that you freeze and save some milk for future use. I have a bunch in our freezer that I use primarily for soap that has now been redesignated and reprioritized to feed these guys. As we did have several bottles in our refrigerator as well that will be going to them. I reached out to my homesteading community looking for tips and tricks to possibly get them to foster onto another doe. My other does, they have babies, and I don't know that they're able to take on more. They're certainly not able to take on triplets. So I felt like since they weren't necessarily willing or able, that this is something I can definitely do. These guys slept in my bedroom with me last night in a cage. So because I did get up and do a midnight feeding. You want some too? Yeah. So this bottle here was the only soda bottle I could find on hand. I'm going to have my husband pick up bigger bottles today. I tried to get him to, these are my favorite nipples. So I find them to be closest to a mom teat. Something that I always forget because I don't do this regularly is they don't come pre-cut. And I struggled yesterday. I got this little baby to suck on it a couple times and I couldn't figure out why he wasn't getting any milk. And then realized it's because it didn't have a hole. So a couple of things to keep in mind when you're feeding babies is that the milk needs to be warm, just like a human baby. If your goat is down and not doing well, you need to make sure that their body temperature is at least 101. So they need to be warm in order to take milk on, as otherwise they themselves won't do well and it could be catastrophic. So as ideally you would have a bottle for each baby. You do want to make sure, whoop, don't knock that over, kiddo. That's like liquid gold. So you do want to make sure your bottles are clean and sanitized and ready to go. You want some more? Bless you. Yeah, bless you. More? hold on. Ready? Ready? There we go. Yeah. So, and these guys are vigorous eaters. So, rule of thumb when they're newborns is you want to feed them about 4 times a day. I don't know if you guys are aware of Rose over at Wholesome Roots, but she recommends doing it first thing when you get up, right around lunchtime, right around dinner time, and then right before bed. I work a full-time job, so today I actually did have to leave early, and I hustled to get home in time. I'm feeding them a little bit later than I'd like to, but they seem to be doing okay. So today's one of those days that kind of, if shit's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me. As I was in a hurry trying to get here to feed, I took packages to the post office. Come here, little dude. Come here, it's your turn. And I ended up tripping and falling in the parking lot, which was almost like a cartoon. I'm sure it was very comedic for anybody watching me, because I had this big handful of packages and they just went flying everywhere. Some nice young gentleman came over and scooped me up off the ground, so that was very nice of him. I did mess up my knee, so I'll be paying for that for days. Come here, little guy. It's your turn. Come here. Okay. So this is my little runt, and he is definitely on the weaker side of the 3, and he waits till last to get fed, but he is doing fabulous. As last night I thought for sure we were gonna lose him. So he laid there with his head hanging down and barely moving, eyes closed, and it took me a long time to get him up and responsive. But when he took the first couple sips of milk, he just perked right up. Some things that I did for him before I got him to nurse was I put some molasses inside his mouth. That gives him a quick sugar rush and some instant energy. So if you have goats or birthing animals, I would recommend having molasses on hand. It's just one of those quick magic potions that you can pull out in a pinch. It's full of vitamins and minerals and really good for them. As you can incorporate it in their water when they're a little older. It's good for birthing moms to give them a real kick of energy. Yep, there we go. I should watch you and not the camera, huh? So, but just thought I would share with you guys my new little kids, my bottle babies. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I should probably pay more attention to my baby goats than you guys here. So I'm sorry if anybody's commenting because I'm not seeing it. So we currently we had 3 sets of triplets this week. We did lose one baby. It was stillborn, and then we lost our mom. So there's always some sort of circle of life on a homestead. It's full of life, full of death. It's hopefully you can use some of that death for a purpose. And it's like I said, we did harvest our goat for meat. I've got a baby goat that's going to rub on my camera here. So we did butcher a pig. This is my pig house. And so we had hoped to have it available for birthing moms. You want some more? You want some more? So, but none of them chose to use this pen to birth in. Bless you. But it has come in handy to segregate these babies during the day. So if you are a homesteader or a new homesteader, I cannot recommend having extra housing enough. So there's always a use and advantage for having housing available for somebody somewhere, as it may not always necessarily be in use, but when you need it, you need it. And so this has been great because I can close these babies in. I don't have to worry about them outside getting hurt. The other moms are protective of their babies and not necessarily super loving of these guys coming up trying to nurse on them. So having a safe place for them where they're protected from not only predators but my own bigger goats has been a blessing. I wasn't necessarily worried about them while I was at work today because I knew that they were safe. I didn't want to leave them in the house in a pen. I need them to be outside learning how to be goats. And so this was a perfect place. I don't know if you guys, I'll show you. So this pig house, I'm going to turn this real fast, is made out of pallets. And let's see, it's got a little yard to it. And then we've got 2.5 sides with plywood on the edge of our predominant wind. So any wind, rain, snow that would be blowing down from the mountains, they're protected from. It's actually very warm in here. I have come out during snowstorms and sat in here. Ooh, I'm gonna knock my camera over. Not me, or not the goats, it'll be me that knocks my camera over. And so this is something that it's got a solid roof above it, and so has come in very handy, not only for raising pigs in, but for these baby goats. My chickens spend a lot of time in here, so it's nice to have lots of shelters. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I wanted to show you my little kids. So something to keep in mind when baby goats eat, next thing they do is urinate. So last night I had them peeing on my carpet in my bedroom, and then one peed on my jacket. That was fun. So just kind of keep that in mind if you end up with goats in your house too. So that is really all I have for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing my little kids, and we will talk to you soon. My plan today was initially to make lotion bars, so I should be doing that Thursday instead. I hope you join me then. And I've got lots of videos on my playlist now, so I hope you go back if you haven't watched them and check them out, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye.